With Valentine's Day just around the corner, love is on a lot of people's minds. But the course of true love never did run smooth, or in the case of some of the people in our next story, roll smooth. As Stephanie Sy tells us, for people living with disabilities or chronic illnesses, dating can come with unique challenges.
Claire Smith and Iman Rahman have been dating for over a year.
I was like, so when are we gonna go out? And she was like, whenever you ask me. So then I was like, oh, I guess I gotta ask her now.
They met on Instagram, and while the couple lives on opposite coasts, their mutual experience with chronic illnesses tied them together.
Within the first, I don't know, month or so of us dating, like I had my headphones in listening to her just like vomiting over the toilet.
So the next thing I know, my mom's like, hey, you got a package. I think it's from her. And it was just a package of like a ton of vomit bags. Can you give me some package?
Not exactly your traditional romantic gesture, but Claire and Iman found a special intimacy by sharing their health challenges early on.
We have to get over the uncomfortable parts in the beginning really fast, and you don't have a choice. Like either that person is going to be somebody that you're comfortable doing this with, or it's not.
Cheers.
But not everyone is ready to put it all out there from the start.
One of the biggest challenges is even to decide when to come out or disclose your disability, especially if you either have a non-apparent or invisible disability, or you're using something like a dating profile.
Shanna Katz-Katari is a sexuality researcher at the University of Michigan. Katari is chronically ill and autistic.
You know, if you're a wheelchair user, do you put a picture of your chair in the profile, or do you wait until you roll up to the cafe where you're both going on the first date and see if somebody turns around and walks out?
Roughly 1 in 4 adults in the United States has a disability, and they are half as likely as non-disabled people to ever have been married. We talked to more than a dozen people with disabilities and chronic illnesses, each navigating the dating world in their own way.
I remember there was a time at the very beginning when I wouldn't put my disability at all anywhere on my profile. Even in chatting with a match, I wouldn't tell them. And I would even just show up to the date, walking how I do, and hope for the best.
All the pretty girls walk like this, this.
Over time, Chelsea Bear, who has cerebral palsy, has changed her approach.
Now I'm very open. I have it right there on my profile. I personally make a little joke out of it. You know, I say I have princess parking or make something fun about my mobility scooter, just because that's my personality and I want them to know it's okay to talk about it.
Maxine Starr weeds out poor prospects with efficiency.
It doesn't make sense to invest in a week or two or whatever and then tell the person and then they're not interested.
She gets a lot of questions about her visual impairment.
How do you get dressed? And, how'd you get here? Or can you see that glass right there in front of you? I've had some where it might have went to an actual date after that, but the reality kicked in once I brought the cane and took it out.
Russell Lehman says telling dates that he is on the autism spectrum can quickly end the conversation.
Once they found out I was autistic, they just unmatched me. And so I think a lot of people are just scared.
Scared, or in Jacqueline Child's experience, bigoted. Child has a connective tissue disorder.
As a disabled woman, I experienced so much discrimination on the mainstream dating apps. The most offensive one was telling me to not have any biological children.
This kind of discrimination against the disabled is referred to as ableism. It was Child's experiences on dating apps that inspired her and her sister Alexa to create their own. They called it Dateability.
We came up with a profile section called the Dateability Deets section. And that is an extensive list of broad terms used to describe one situation like immunocompromised, wheelchair user, food allergy. It sends this signal to our users that we see you, we don't view your chronic illness or disability with shame.
But online dating apps aren't for everyone.
I'm too scared to do the online thing because I wouldn't disclose online to somebody I don't know and can't see.
More than 3 decades after the Americans with Disabilities Act was passed, people with disabilities are often still excluded from and misunderstood by society. Shanna Katz-Katari says that can create a lot of anxiety around dating.
I hope that the tables aren't high tops because my body can't sit in a, it's very trendy now to have the high tops. I hope we're not going to show up at a restaurant and I can't sit.
What do you feel like are some of the misconceptions that non-disabled people have about people with disabilities, their dating lives, their sex lives?
I think non-disabled people really buy into a lot of the notions that have been perpetuated around disability and disabled people, such as disabled folks are all asexual, which is not true. There's this idea that we should feel grateful to be asked on a date or grateful to be partnered with, which is totally not the case.
And even with loved ones, the conversation of dating can be difficult. Iman Rahman says she had to convince her family she was ready to date.
I was asked a lot of questions that I don't know if a lot of my friends were when they were talking to their parents about dating. Like, do you really think you should be doing this? If they're not well, do you think they can take care of you?
I think we really spend a lot of time focusing on the negative, the problems, what should be different. Disabled folks, we are scrappy, we are creative.
Katari believes people with disabilities are better at saying what they're looking for and what they need because they have to so often.
I just want someone that knows who they are. They're not afraid to be themselves.
I need someone that I can say, like the past few days have been high pain days for me. And I can say to them, I'm having a high pain day. And they'll just hug me or something.
I think the most important one is if I have my cane, they're still not afraid to hold my hand or put their hand on my back.
If I start sobbing, people are going to be like, what the hell? He's a man. But, when those few select special women can just hold me and embrace me and all that I am through the peaks and valleys.
And most of all, that person not enabling me at all, just treating me as a human being and not as a person who's just blind, but just treating me like Evelyn,
Oh my goodness, look at you.
For Claire and Iman, just feeling seen by the other, whether long distance or in person, is key.
What are you doing when you feel the happiest together?
I cannot express to you how many times I just feel grateful to be holding her hand, just getting through this, getting through a day of just feeling so much pain or getting through a day of feeling so much anxiety about everything.
I was just sitting here, I looking at her. It's really, it makes me so happy and it fills me with just so much pride and joy when I just sit here and hear her talk. It's been so rewarding and so lovely to just be on this journey with her.
For PBS News Weekend, I'm Stephanie Sy.